and welcome back to AR77, something a little bit different today. This is not a replica, but it certainly takes its style cues from a couple of quite recognisable pistols, in my opinion. This is the Umarex SA10. This is a non-replica, .177 caliber pellet firing, 12 gram CO2 powered air pistol. Let's have a little look at it. It's a really nice pistol, actually. It took me a while to get around to getting one of these because it wasn't a replica, but I've heard nothing but good things about them. Style-wise, I don't know what you think. It feels almost a bit like the P226. I think you can see it's taken certain style cues there, especially from the sort of the aggressive sort of squared look of it. I think you can see with the sort of bore axis at the back of there, there's some similarities between these two pistols. Not identical, but I would say it takes a couple of cues from the P226. Also, you could argue that if the P226 had a baby with the Baba Yaga, the Terran Tactical Combat Master there, they might have come up with something a bit like this. You can see with that exposed inner barrel there, the open slide, the ported slide, if you will. You can see that there are some similarities. It's not identical, but they've also finished it in a contrasting metal, which is quite nice. A bit more of a gold feel to this one than the Combat Master. That looks a bit more kind of brassy, or even dare I say it, rose gold. There, I said it, I don't care. So let's have a look at the SA10, because it is a really nice and quite clever little piece of kit. What I will do is I'll start with the magazine. We'll talk about that first of all, because that's one of the key features of this, and then we'll look around the gun itself. So this pistol happens to be loaded with pellets currently, but there is no CO2 in the magazine, so nothing can happen. As it comes with 3 of these 8-round pellet cylinders, if you will, or discs, and one other here. Now that may well be for BBs. It's obviously meant to be used because it's got the kind of that star in the centre there that will allow it to sort of be accessed by the internals of the pistol and index it and rotate it and stuff. So I guess that's supposed to be used. I guess it's for BBs though, but as this has a rifled barrel, I'm going to tend to just shoot it with the .177 caliber pellets. And as you can see, it comes with 3 of these. I guess you could get an extra one and stick it in that slot there. So you've got ultimately 8, 16, 24 rounds, which can quite quickly be swapped out and changed for each other, which means you've got a fair amount of time doing a bit of shooting, as opposed to the 16-round mag of the P226 or the is it the PT85 or the P85 by Gammo, and of course the Beretta PX4 Storm. So that's quite a good thing. Also, once these cylinders are loaded, let me just take one out there, you can see that you've got these kind of little humps there, which allow you to just seat the pellets while you're waiting to pop the magazine in. So I think that's quite a good feature. Also, on the base of the magazine here, you've got this screw here, this little tab, which will be familiar to anyone who's had or looked at a number of different air pistols. I think that's quite a good thing, because it does mean again that you've got all your ammunition in the magazine, plus your CO2, plus you don't have to have a separate Allen key or spanner or wrench or anything like that to swap out the CO2. So that's quite a good magazine, quite a useful magazine, and quite a functional magazine too. I believe it's the same or similar to the magazine on the Glock 17 Gen 4 dual ammo pellet gun. So there you go. I don't know if they'll be interchangeable. I doubt that very much, but similar anyway. So let's have a look at this SA10. This is a blowback pistol, but obviously it won't kind of stay back after the last shot, because it is ultimately a revolver and it's operating those rotary magazines, so it's not going to lock back, but it is a blowback pistol. It looks like it's striker fired, but that is actually a hammer, as you can see once you cock the pistol, you can see that is a hammer, but it's not one that you can cock with your thumb. So for the most part, you're going to either be firing this in double action, like that, by pulling the trigger, or single action by engaging the trigger, and obviously once you fire that, the slide's going to rock back, it's going to reset, and then you can go again. Do that again, it's going to go back and reset, it's going to reset there, and go again. There you go. It does have this kind of shroud on the front there. You can see that that's threaded for a suppressor, should you want to do that. I don't see much point of that other than aesthetics on a pistol like this, really. Let's have a look at that. We've got this kind of recessed barrel there with that gold. You can see the actual internal barrel there. Quite blingy. I don't know if that's going to be to everybody's taste. Let's look at that. It kind of continues down the slide of the pistol there. These kind of etched markings along the top are quite nice. They're quite unusual. I quite like the gold, actually. I think it looks like quite good with the black. To be honest, in the same way that I do like the Combat Master. I think it's something unusual. It's not something that looks the same as all your other pistols. So I think that's quite a nice touch, in all honesty. It looks very much like a Salient Arms kind of customization, if you've seen any of their work on Glocks especially, but a range of firearms. Salient Arms tend to go for this kind of black and gold finish, as it were. It's not a massively heavy slide, but it does feel solid. Not a lot of rattle to it either, so it's not too bad. It's not as bad as some I've seen. I actually really like the way this pistol feels. We do have a, well, let's work around to it. We've got the rail underneath if you want to add torches or lasers or anything like that. Nice bit of grip there along the kind of lower part of the frame. We'll come back here. This is actually your takedown lever. So what you would do is, see if I can do this on camera, shall we? So you take off the protector there for the silencer. Threading, got there eventually, didn't we? Obviously make sure your mag's out, and then you just flip that down, and all you do is push that to the back, and then it lifts up and over. Let's have a look. It does lift up and over. Let's just have to push that a little bit further. I was trying too hard. Up and over like that. And then you've got your spring there, and you can see your internals there and your slide. All pretty standard fare, all pretty straightforward. Obviously, to pop it back on, it's just the same, but in the opposite direction. Make sure everything's lined up properly, i.e. your guide rod and everything. And it's a bit harder, but there you go. That's back on now. Flip up that switch, and you are good to go. There you go. This is actually a safety catch here. You've got safe and fire, so it looks like a slide release, but it's not. So it's on safe if it's in the forward position, and fire in the rear position. Do have a safety here, or it appears to have a safety here on the trigger, just like a Glock. But what you'll find is, even without the safety, you can still fire the pistol. So it's just cosmetic that this is your real safety that locks the gun out. There you go. SA10 there on the slide. Again, decent chunky serrations here, so it's really easy to get hold of the pistol and slide that back. Also, you've got your front serrations there, exposing that lovely golden kind of, I mean, it's an outer barrel really. But yeah, I think it looks quite nice. I quite like the fact that it's got these kind of grooves down that barrel as well, all the way around it. I think that was pretty cool. Let me just pop the shroud back on there. Coming back here then, not much to say. Really grippy handle there, grip, just like skateboard kind of grip tape, and quite nice tactile mag release there with those sort of 5 dots. It's like a die or a dice or whatever. So you can easily find that, and I quite like the way that there's like almost a ramp up to it. You see just there, it's like a ramp up, so it's easy enough to find that. and that releases the mag quite nicely. Just release that. Let me show you the mag as it's released. Let's see what I did there. That one dropped out. It doesn't seem to stay in as well as the pellet ones, so the mag will just drop out with gravity, so that's quite good. Some lovely sights here at the back with these kind of almost orange dots. I think really it would benefit from a dot at the front there as well, so I might have to raid the old wife's nail varnish stash. But yeah, it's good sights there, good clear at the back, but could do with something up at the on the front blade there, really. Round to the other side, not much going on really around here. You've got your information there, UX for Umarex, caliber 4.5mm, 0.177 pellet, and more grip round there at the front. Grip everywhere, grip even underneath the trigger guard there. Really nice pistol. So yeah, you've got, what did we say, 24 rounds per mag, and your CO2 is going to last you a decent amount of time. You should get through at least 3 or 4 of those magazines before you're having to change the CO2. It shoots really nicely. The trigger feels really good. I know that sounds quite tinny when I shoot it like that, or when I release it like that. Obviously, there's no CO2 in it, but it does feel really good. There's a nice amount of blowback. It's good and accurate, and it's powerful enough to blast through tin cans. The sights are not adjustable, so that's one of those. But really, out to sort of 10 meters, between 5 and 10 meters, you should have some pretty good fun with this pistol. Again, I think it is for fun. It is a back garden plinker at the end of the day. It's not powerful enough to hunt anything or dispatch any vermin, I wouldn't say. But as a nice piece of kit, it looks like a custom weapon. It looks like something, like I say, by either Taran Tactical or Salient Arms, and that's quite nice to have in the collection. I think alongside the more kind of conservative styling, you might say, of the P226, you might think that's a bit more stylish for your collection. Having said that, there's something beautiful about this. I really love this, and it is, of course, a replica of the real steel. It's got a lot of weight to it as well, that one. A lot of weight to it. Full metal. This isn't full metal, that's probably why it's a little bit lighter. The slide is metal, but the lower frame is kind of polymer or plastic, if you will. But yeah, the SA10 by Umarex. Relatively inexpensive as well. Let me think what I paid for that. I think I paid about 120 quid for that, which I thought was pretty good. I'm sure you could probably get them cheaper. It depends where you are in the country, I guess, and whether you're happy to pay for postage and packaging if you're getting it mail order, or if you'd rather go into your local RFD and sort of hold it yourself and have a look around it and feel it in your hand, which I think is probably preferable. So then, to that extent, you're a bit reliant on the prices in your area. But shop around. The Umarex SA10 non-replica pellet pistol. Have a look at one. If you know someone who's got one, get it in your hands, have a shoot of it in the garden, and I'm sure you'll fall in love with it. They're really good pistols, really reliable, no jams or anything like that, no problems with feeding. You do get the blowback. You've got a nice sized pistol there as well. It's a big chunk of metal and plastic in your hand. It feels really good. Doesn't do everything. Some of it is cosmetic, and as you can see with the styling of it, cosmetics and aesthetics, I guess, are a big part of the styling of this pistol. It's obviously meant to look like it means business. It's got quite aggressive styling from that point of view, along with this quite aggressive kind of grippy texture. But I'm sure you'll enjoy shooting it. I've had no problems with this, and it's a real pleasure to shoot. It's really quite a light trigger, so it's really straightforward to, even with that double action, which is, it is a little bit more in terms of the weight of the trigger pull. There is more, obviously, a bit more travel there for the double action, but even so, still feels like a relatively light trigger. Obviously, you're rotating the pellet cylinder while at the same time releasing the hammer. So it is doing a number of things, but it's doing them quite easily. Yeah, pleasure to shoot. Really nice looking pistol. If you've not seen one before, if you've not used one, hopefully you know somebody who has and you can get your hands on one and try it out. But I would definitely recommend this for anybody's collection. It looks close enough that you could go, yeah, that fits in alongside my replicas. But regardless of that, it's a nice pistol for a bit of fun in the back garden. There you go, the SA10 .177 caliber pellet pistol by Umarex. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, share, have a look at my other videos. There'll be more to come very soon. But for now, all the best, take care, stay safe, bye.